There's nothing better than a nice garage or shop or building like this one to use for storage, for working on equipment. But one of the things you need in a nice building like this one is good lighting. And I struggled when putting this 40 by 60 building up with 19-foot ceilings in one area and 16.5-foot ceilings in another area with how I was going to light it. I did not want to spend a fortune, and some of the lighting I priced was really, really expensive. It would have cost me several $1,000s to light this building. And when you're already spending so much on putting up a building like this, you don't want to spend extra money where you don't need to. So as we were working on this building, a friend of mine said, "What are you going to use to light it?" I said, "I'm not sure. I've been looking at several options." Here in the cold weather, anything that's not LED or incandescent takes a long time to warm up. So in northwest Pennsylvania in the middle of winter, if it's 30 degrees, 0 degrees, or below 0 degrees, you can come out here and flip a switch, and there could be basically no light if you chose fluorescent lighting or the CFL screw-in bulbs or any type of that efficient lighting that just doesn't work good in cold weather. So I wanted to make sure I had lights out here that would come on when I flipped the switch so that I could immediately get to work on whatever I'm working on or doing out here in the building. The same thing you'll see in the garage. So like I said, I was talking to a friend of mine and he said, "Why don't you try looking into those 4-foot shop lights?" And I've got 2 of those in the garage. We'll show you those in the future. But they're horrible in the wintertime. Those fluorescent bulbs take forever to light up. And I said, "No, I'm not interested in those." He said, "No, the new LED ones." So I went and looked. And at Sam's Club, they had packs of 2 of the 4-foot shop LED lights on a good deal. So I got some of them just to try them out, brought them out here to the building, and you can see I've got good light out here. And those are just the 4-foot shop LED lights. You can connect them in a row, so you don't need a whole bunch of sockets or outlets to plug them in. They plug in with the 110-volt plug, so I put some 110 outlets in the ceiling that are connected to a switch that I can flip when I come in the door to turn on sections of lights here in the building. And I actually put them on multiple switches. So the section of the building we're in now, where I keep all the equipment stored and where we do some work on the equipment, that's on one switch. I come in, I flip that switch, I've got lighting right here in this area. Now back at the back part of the building where we've got the scissor trusses, the peak's about 20 feet high, and I was worried that maybe the shop lights wouldn't put out enough light. So I put a couple extras in between so that when Mackenzie's playing basketball or volleyball or playing around in here with some friends, there would be enough light for them to safely play. And I'll show you how those look. We're going to flip the switch here. I've got 2 separate switches that control these lights. I've got the lights closest to the hoop on one switch. That controls a set of 8 lights. And you can see as soon as I turn them on, they come on at full brightness. The light does extend all the way to the ground, which is perfect in a building like this. And then I've got 6 more lights just in front of them on a separate switch. So you can see there's plenty of light all the way to the ground back here. Great for playing basketball, great for anything you want to do out here in this building. So my advice to you, if you're building a big shop like this one, is to look into lighting very seriously. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. If you want to, go ahead and explore the 2-pack LED shop lights, 4 foot long. You can connect them in a line, and they're great, in my opinion, for a building like this. It's about 30 degrees out right now, so it's not super cold, but it's pretty cold. I wanted to talk to you about one of the issues I have out here in my garage. Now above me is a security light. That light stays on all the time out here in the garage, and that just gives us some basic illumination when we come in from being outside, pulling in a car. But my other lights, when I built this garage many years ago, I put in what I thought was going to be a great light. There was the spiral CFL bulbs. They said they would last for 7 to 10 years, and they have. They've lasted at least that long. But there's a problem when you live up north in Pennsylvania or other cold climates in the middle of wintertime like this. The problem is that those CFL light bulbs in cold weather take a long time to light up. Now right now being 30 degrees, and those were actually on maybe 5 hours ago, they won't take as long. But if it were a 0 degree a day or colder, those would take a long time to get bright enough to really see what you're doing in here. That's one of the reasons we have that security light that gives us light all the time. But let's flip the switch and see how long it takes that CFL bulb to actually get up to normal brightness. So you can see it comes on pretty dim. You can see those spirals are trying to light up. Still not very bright. Starting to get a little brighter. The other kind of lights that are very common in garages or shops are these 4-foot shop lights. Again, these ones are old enough that I put them in early on when I built the garage. They're the 4-foot fluorescent tubes. And the same problem in the cold weather with those. They take a long time to heat up. In fact, if it's 0 degrees, they never heat up. They actually just, you can see lights flickering inside them, but they never actually turn on. So now at 30 degrees, they'll probably come on, but you'll see when I turn them on, they also start out really dim. You can see they kind of flicker. This one's still flickering. And they're not very bright. When you first turn them on in the wintertime, it takes a long time for these to warm up to actually be bright enough. So let's open these up, take a look at them, see what they look like. So you can see they've got kind of a fan shape to them. There is a plug-in sensor, and this is just a screw-in top. So this should give a lot more light than those bulbs, and since they are LED, they should come on instantly. So let's replace one of those slow-acting bulbs with this and see if we notice a big difference. There's the specifications on the box. You can see they do have extenders if you want them to be a little bit lower. But I'd like to leave ours up as high as possible and see how much light they put out. I did get these off of Amazon, and I'll put a link down below to these fan style LED lights. I'm not sure what the sensor with the plug on it is for. And there are no instructions. But let's get one of these up and see how it does. I do have some camera lighting out here to give us some light for the video, but I wanted to turn the lights off and say these CFL bulbs did last a long time. Now this is a 25 watt, supposedly 100 watt equivalent. Now let's put this fan light up. Now when we flip the switch, this should be as bright as it's going to get instantly. Let's give it a test. That's a big improvement. We're going to do this one beside the garage door opener next. Now I've been calling this a fan light. I'm not sure what the actual term for them is, but one of the nice things is you can aim these. If you wanted them to be, you know, more outward than downward, you could do that. But this area of the garage is where I do most of the work when I'm working on something. I usually pull the Volt out or the truck out and work in one of these two stalls. So this area of the garage is perfect for a little bit better lighting. I like the nice white light that the LED lights put out. So let's turn this one on. So that was a 2-pack, and I put those 2 lights up, and that has made a massive improvement in this section of the garage. You can see it's a very bright white light. It easily shines from the 10-foot ceiling down here to the cement. Makes it much easier to work if I were working on something here. That's a good investment. I would highly recommend. If you've got a garage and you're in a cold climate like us where you're always waiting on the bulbs to light up, whether you've got the compact fluorescent CFL spiral lights or fluorescent tube bulbs, I'd highly recommend switching to an LED bulb. From here you can see the massive amount of light that those lights put out in comparison to my regular bulbs that I had here in the garage. I prefer that white light. I know some people do like the more yellow-orange light of the traditional light bulb. I actually like that cool white light. I find it easier to work in. My eyes work better in it. So this wasn't our normal type of video. We weren't outside today, but we were doing something that's very useful. putting up good lights, and showing you how inexpensive 4-foot shop lights are perfect for a big building like this one. If you like videos like this, make sure you click that like button, comment down below, share with your friends, and if you're not already a subscriber, click the subscribe button and the bell beside it. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again the next time.